But again, I was probably as a child, and that's why I have all these sexual perversions. So we might be different, and hopefully you're doing better than I am.
Maybe that's why I'm anxious.
Yeah,
I was just pinned down and by an uncle. That's why I'm so controlling.
Yeah, you're like, I like when I can have control of the situation.
Yeah, that's why I like to book flights early because my uncle's fucking plowed me.
That's why I'm a Delta Lounge member.
That's why I'm Comfort Plus, because I'm afraid my uncle's back there in economy waiting for me.
Maybe it's just me, but we are back with another motherfucking episode of the Practical Advice for Weird Little Guys Being Cool. Too long of a title podcast, and you better believe it, gang, I am 7 weeks pornography free. I am the GOAT. I don't think I'll ever watch it again. I continue to dominate my little addictions that I've struggled with my whole life, and I think I might be peaking right now, gang, because we are joined today by another guy who has only consistently dominated life. Make some noise in the studio audience, everybody, for the one and only, the big man himself, Alex Dragicevich.
Wow. Is every intro that amazing?
Yep, I come in hot. I told you, I really turn it on. Every time I do that, a guest goes, Jesus Christ, you were not like that 40 seconds ago.
Holy shit. I also didn't know you gave up porn, dude.
7 weeks porn free, everybody. I am, I gotta be honest, it is absolutely electric. I'm never going back. These women are being abused online, and I will no longer be a part of it.
Oh, it's an ethical thing?
No, not at all. It's still, I want my dick to be heavy when I walk around in the day.
Oh, okay.
It has absolutely nothing to do with ethics. I gave up on ethics years ago.
You gotta have a heavy piece.
Yeah, you gotta.
How are your wet dreams?
Well, I'm definitely masturbating. I'm just no pornography. Are you in the pornography?
A little, yeah.
Okay, what are you watching?
I'm a MILF guy. Straight up.
Absolutely.
And lately, I mean, yeah, this is a good way to intro myself. This is first thing in the pods. I'm into MILFs and Japanese women. Japanese for real. I'm going Japanese.
No way. That's kind of surprising.
I know you wouldn't expect it if you look at my history, but I think Brooklyn's really taking a hold of me.
The heart wants what the dinky can't have, if you will.
Yeah, no, dude. Yeah, it's Japanese and MILFs. Sometimes Japanese MILF. That's kind of what I'm into.
Have you been
right
watching
now.
Shogun? Is that why?
No, I just again, it's probably like something where I'm like, that seems a little novel to me. Like I haven't really been around that bush before.
Wow.
So maybe once, but maybe I don't know if she was Japanese.
Well, thank you for coming on the pod.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having me. This is great. I love your spot, as usual.
Let's absolutely fucking go. As the listeners know, Drago's a comedian here in the great state of New York, Brooklyn, New York, the greatest place in the world. And Drago, my first question for you, let's just get right into it. You are, how tall are you?
6'6".
6'6". And you know what that means, folks? He is actually 6'8" at the end of the day. If you put a couple big shoes on him.
Well, yeah, with shoes on 6'7", 6'7.5". Yeah.
Now, what is that like?
It's a good life until you're about 29, and then your body starts to fall apart.
Is your body falling apart?
Back, knees, ankles, everything just starts to go a little. I really have to take. I've got to be pretty good about taking care of myself and everything.
Right.
Taking care of my bod. I think a lot of people in their 30s say this, but I think for tall guys, I think it's different. I think it's a different ball game.
Well, now what I really want to know about is what is that like as far as women? I feel like, are they not? When did you get tall? What age?
16.
16. And how tall were you at 16?
I went from 5'11" to 6'6".
What?
Yeah. So I went from just a guy to a man, a tall guy. I was to a tall guy. Yes.
Right. Okay. Nice. And have women just been throwing themselves? we've had a couple of tall guests on. I would dream of being tall. I would dominate if I was tall.
Were women throwing them? I don't know. I think it's
Since you were a wee lad.
I think from like senior year of high school to on, it's been a good run. I've had a good run. That's what I'll say. I remember one time that's exactly. I remember one time I had like an STD scare. Turns out I was just masturbating too hard. I had like a rash on my dick from literally.
I've had that rash.
mid pandemic, just tugging it way too much.
I've certainly had that rash.
And I told my buddy, because I was freaking out. I called my buddy at like 2 a.m. because I was like, dude, I can't sleep. I'm seeing the doctor tomorrow. Or no, this was actually after I took the test. I was like, I'm getting my test back or the next day. I was like, I'm freaking out. And he's like, dude, just so you know, and we talked for like an hour. He was trying to calm me down. And at the end, he was like, just so you know, man, all things considered, if you do have something, your jersey's in the rafters.
Oh, wow. That is legendary.
It was like, he's like, honestly, he's like, think about your life, think about your roster. He's like, it was a good run. That's what he said.
Oh, but by that, we're all going to get herpes at some point. That's sort of my view on life,
Sure. I know that have you told your listeners that I know you don't wear condoms. And
we did bring this up actually last episode where I'm completely out on that. Yeah. I mean, I will, God willing.
Yeah, it's sometimes you get shrinkage or whatever.
Yeah, I'll go soft. If I'm using condoms, I got to use about 4 of them because I'm going soft every 5 minutes, having to pull it off, put a new one on.
My brother's told me about that he has that. Some guys have that. Some guys, I think a lot of guys. Gerard at Zany's told me he's got that.
Really? That's
a lot of men suffer from condom shrinkage. It's a real thing.
Oh, that makes me feel
lots of.
Oh, I thought I was the only one.
Oh no, dude, you're in a camp of many.
Oh, wow. That's just so nice to hear. I thought I had a serious issue for a long time.
You thought you were the only one that, like, when they put a bag on, their dick was like, not feeling this?
Kinda, yeah. I was like, God, this thing just can't act right.
No, a lot of guys, it's yeah. My brother, I've had guys tell me about this.
Okay,
so.
But you're using them left and right.
I'm using them. It's been okay with, I've been, but I don't prefer them, but you have to, dude. You have to. Right. 30s is a different ballgame because, 24, you're with a girl. If you don't pull out great, she's 24, you're in Chicago, she's probably some lib chick. She's deleting. She's deleting the app. Right. She's deleting the app. 32, if your pullout game's weak, like now you have a family.
Oh, that is a good.
You literally have a family now.
No, that is the truth. You can knock a chick up now. She's like, so, what apartment? What neighborhood?
Right.
Are you living
in? She's like, I'm thinking Jersey. And you go, what?
You're like, whatever has a staircase.
She doesn't even tell you she's pregnant. She goes, we're going to Jersey. That's what she says.
Okay, so you're doing it out of fear of pregnancy.
Sorry?
You're doing it out of fear of pregnancy, not
certainly.
STD.
Yeah. Well, at this age, dude, it's just like there's too much. It's too much on the table. There's too many things going on. 24, I'm like, I don't give a. Yeah. It was mostly but yeah. Now I'm like, I don't want to. I'm like, it just quells the anxiety.
It's so funny because I don't bust, so it's nice. I almost forget that you get pregnant from doing that. I almost forget that's for making babies.
You don't come. You're off. Oh wow. But you're hard to get the.
I'm hard to please, ladies, but you can always fix me if you catch my drift.
Is that why you're off the porn? You want to come better?
It's that. It's like I want to come better, but it's like I just find pornography to.
It was your sexual experience. I feel lucky because there was like a 3-year stretch from like 4-year stretch from like 18 to 22 to 21, where I had a consistent girlfriend, where I was like we were having sex a lot. And I think when you have a foundation of a lot of sex when you're in high school and college, it becomes like your brain is like your whole body's like we know how to do this. But have you? I
missed that.
Do you have a stunted?
Certainly.
Like kind of a sexual adolescence where you're like,
yeah,
I got laid once freshman year, maybe once junior year or something like that. And you were like, and then like, so now it's a little bit, your body's just is like every time for your body, sex is still not this like, it's not this like A to B to C thing.
I mean, you just picked me right out of the hat and rang the bell. That's exactly. Now,
Yeah.
I will say now as I'm at the point where, yeah, it's pretty normal and chill for me, but that's only in the past like 3 to 4 years.
Right.
Like 21 to 28, I was like, what are we doing with our cocks and pussies? Seems illegal.
Right. It's like the best thing you can do for yourself as a young man is have a 1 to 2 year girlfriend in your teens and 20s.
To really learn how to
early 20s if possible. Yeah, because you gotta get comfortable. Now granted, like, should I be lasting longer with women? Of course.
No way. Is that a problem? That's definitely we have a listener question about this.
It's not. I wouldn't call it a problem. I would call it. I think I know. Sometimes I know how to maneuver and like maybe stall a little bit to last longer. But there are times where I've had a few old fashions, maybe a couple beers, and I'm back with this girl, and my brain's just like, buddy, just fucking let it rip. I always
go, you know what? Never going to see her again. Why don't I just fucking enjoy myself for the night?
Or I'll say like, I'll take care of her around 2 or something like that, like something lame like that. It's 2 in the morning, and then it's like, oh yeah, I only had 1 condom, and I want to go to sleep. But yeah, I don't think it's a.
Well, give the boys a couple tips for not busting too fast, because we do have a listener question about it. Let's get into it.
Here's what's real about that. Not busting too fast. For real, like, I know this is like an age-old thing, but like jacking off before you go out is a useful tool for a few reasons. So like, if you jack off at like maybe like 6 o'clock after work before you hit the shower or something like that, then so there's a lot of things that are working in your favor. This is like on a Friday night or something. Here's what's working in your favor. One. Let's say 1 a.m. hits and that old flame hits you up again, who's maybe not approved of by the boys, maybe not approved of by your psyche. That 1 a.m. kind of.
Oh, certainly.
When the night crawlers hit you up. This is when the night crawlers come out. This is when the B squad thinks that they're on varsity. When JV thinks they're on varsity and she hits you up and she goes, "Hey, I'm out. Are you?" If you jerk off at 6, you go, "Okay, I'm not too horny."
Right.
I'm not too horny. I don't need to hit up B squad tonight. I don't need to hit this. I don't need to go down because then that's just a whole problem. So jerking off before you go out, that's gonna quell. Also, let's say, A squad hits you up. Let's say the girl that you're pining for. Pining fire. The girl that you're pining for hits you up and she's like, "Hey, I'm out. Like, what do you want? Like, you want to meet up at this place?" You're like, "Oh, fuck yeah. Great news. You came early. You came earlier." So now midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock hits, you're not gonna bust as quick. I'm not gonna say you're gonna be a golden god or whatever, but you're gonna be in a much better scenario.
Now, let me ask you this: have you ever like gotten that like the golden goose hits you up and you're like, you haven't cranked? You're like, let me go in the bathroom and crank real quick so I don't last 45 seconds with this queen.
No, here's why. Because
I mean, you're kind of dropping absolute gems right off the bat here. Let's fucking go.
Dude. No,
and here's why.
You want to talk about 2 to 6 month things? Like, I'm your guy. I'm your guy. Love, I may not be your guy.
Yeah, so that's what you're kind of like a 6-month relationship guy.
I wish 6 months would be great, but they're usually a little bit short. I guess right now, yeah. Anyways, if the girl that you're pining for, listen, if you last a little long, if you're quick with the girl that you've been pining for, if she is, here's the reality of it: if you really, really like her, if she really likes you coming in a minute is not a game changer. That's just not an issue. If you are dating for 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, and you're still doing it in under a minute or 30 seconds every single time, that can be an issue.
That is so crazy. I can't even imagine.
Right. I think some guys. I think
that's probably a problem for a lot of guys.
I mean, Jeff
Jeffrey Asmus will put his handle right here.
Our boy Jeff is he's a cum god. He's 30 seconds to 45 seconds.
Right, I guess he does have that problem.
So he's always, and he talks that he has that issue. So it's like, don't worry if you're coming quick the first night, maybe even the second night. I wouldn't stress it. Try to pay her back in round 2.
We know this listener question. What he asked was he uses these wet wipes that numb the tip of his cock, so that
so he's got a real issue.
I guess so. I'd never heard of that, but apparently it's like wipes that you rub on your cock to numb it so you don't come so fast.
Also, I don't know this. I've heard Blue Chew is a huge help for that.
Really?
So my boy told me you guys might want to try this. You're probably not sponsored by Blue Chew, are you?
We've been trying to for months. Blue Chew sponsors. I'll tag you in the comments. You better fucking believe it.
Here's what I've heard about Blue Chew. What Blue Chew is great for is like if you're going down on her or if you want to like last a little bit, Blue Chew just keeps you bricked. So if you want to go down on her,
I've definitely taken a couple Blue Chews in my day.
I wouldn't know this. I think I did it once and it was pretty good or whatever. But I just but yeah, if you're going down on her, Blue Chew, and sometimes you lose it if you're down there for a while, whatever. Blue Chew like keeps you bricked in those in between moments,
and that is indeed true. And he is not lying. Don't ask me how I know that.
I honestly, I'm taking this because like Antonio said it on a pod.
On this one?
Oh, really?
Did on this one, yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
we're infamously pro Blue Chew on this.
Yeah, so Antonio talked about it, and I was like, oh, that's probably got to be the real deal.
Blue Chew was actually kind of instrumental in me overcoming my problems with my cock in my earlier years.
Oh, so it's the real deal, Holyfield.
I rarely use it now. Maybe like if I'm absolutely blackout drunk.
Do you like Blue Chew more than Viagra?
I think it's the same thing. I've never taken Viagra.
Oh, okay.
But when I was early on, I was really struggling with my meat getting up. I used to use Blue Chew to kind of give me some confidence. Now I'm pretty much fine unless I've had 17 tequila sodas, and in that case, I just pray to God I have one in my pants or something somewhere.
Right. I've got some just as like backups, and so we'll see if I need.
That's the right way to use it.
Yeah, it's good to have like your mind having like, hey, in case anything happens, in case of emergency, break the glass.
Yeah, that's kind of nice to know.
Break the seal. Yeah. So,
which is what I keep saying. It's like, women got vibrators, they got all these tools. We get a little thing to kind of hold the ship steady if need be. It's like evening the playing field at the end of the day.
Yeah, I also think too. It's like again, like this is like the guys with lasting long. Women like this is not. It's just like it's like the 15th concern for them. Like if your girl like likes you,
yeah,
she's gonna work with you on making her come.
Right.
You're gonna figure it out.
God, men are such fucking idiots.
We're always just like, dude, what? If you're not like Donkey Kong pounding her out like night one, you're like, will she love me? It's like, what are you talking about, dude? Are you crazy? That's just not. I mean, yeah,
I totally do still feel that sometimes.
100%.
I'm like, I really need to put on a show here, or I feel like she's never gonna love me.
Yeah, it's
Donkey Kong pounding her out is the truth.
I mean, dude, like it's just like men, we are biologically wired to come as soon as possible. That's just how it is.
Yeah,
and we figure out how to last longer over time. And yeah,
Are you coming in a certain position, or are there positions you last longer in? Boys, you're really getting it this week. These are real tips here. Let's fucking go.
I used to be able to last longer in doggy, but now I've liked doggy more. I don't know. It's weird. Now I'm like, so I remember I was with a girl recently where I was like, oh yeah, doggy, I can like kind of, and then I was like, oh Jesus Christ, never, yeah.
She got that rocket on her, boy.
Yeah, sometimes you're like, oh shit, but yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's like it's something that's like. Not it's I wouldn't call it a huge deal. I remember when I was like with someone during the pandemic, I just remember like because time had pretty much stopped and there was nothing going on. I remember being so anxious about my sex life at that time and like my relationship, because that's all that was being. Maybe it also helps for guys that are like, I think this is like a legitimate advice. If you're worried about coming too fast, get like a life goal. Like like get promoted, like make some more money. Like you shouldn't be, if your biggest concern in your life is like, am I coming in under a minute? It's like you're not your
You're
life,
probably unemployed.
you don't have life really. You're not focused on the right things. Like, get a
Do you have a duvet cover?
Yeah, like get a better job, fucking get a hobby, fucking work on yourself. Because if that's on top of mind, like you should be sex should be like fun and a release and like and a great time. Sex should be fun. So if sex is like your main thing, like priority, then your life is really upside down.
That is actually so fucking true.
You know what I'm saying?
That is incredible advice. Well, this is what they say about ADD and everything, is oftentimes guys with ADD are incredibly horny because they can't focus on parts of their life, and so they just pick sex as a thing to like obsess over, you know?
Yeah, I was like
hyper-compulsive sexual disorder, if you will.
During the pandemic, I found myself in a streak of like, I was just coming kind of quickly with my girlfriend. And I was just like, and I was looking at my life and I was like, oh yeah, because like when I wake up, I have nothing to do. Like comedy is gone right now. Right. I can't see my friends really. I can't like fucking do it. I couldn't work out. My ankle was hurting. Like there was just like, time had stopped. So like in that moment, I was like, oh yeah, this is the only thing that I care. It's like you have to. So yeah, just like get a better life, you know? Get a better life.
I want to know what this guy's name was that asked this question.
I don't mean it like to be condescending to this guy, but it's like it should be like, yeah, dude. Also, when you come quick, usually, especially in the first time, they're like, yeah, he's fucking into me. Of course he came quick. I'm hot. He thinks I'm hot.
Yeah, you're the perfect guest for that, because to be honest, when I got that question, I sat on it for a while because like, I don't know. I don't be busting, bro. So what an excellent answer there.
No, I'm here for it.
We even got to the question.
I was thinking about something coming over here because it's like a relationship pod.
Yeah.
I think this is something that I've been thinking about. Like, it's like, I just thought about this morning. I saw a TikTok where someone was like, it was like some fucking like man on the street thing. And the guy asked the girl like why like she's single or whatever. And she was like, well, I'm just so picky. I'm just too picky. And it's like, here's the thing. You're not picky. Listen.
Drago going Oprah mode.
I just want to say this. Anyone who says they're picky, first off, you're a 7 that thinks you're a 9. 1, you're a 7 that thinks you're a 9. 2, get over your ex and move the fuck on. I'm too picky. Shut up. There's so many people out there. You're not too picky. Oh, you've liked no one. You've never liked, it's been 3 years. You haven't liked someone. You have really?
No, you're absolutely, they're not.
1,
they're picky.
Move on. 2, you're not an 8. You're not a 9.
It's honestly the truth. If you were picky, somebody would pick you, you know? if you were truly a baby, if you were picking, somebody'd pick you. You wouldn't be picking anybody.
Yeah.
They'd come crawling to you, you know?
Picky people are usually not single.
It's the truth.
Because people want them.
You've never seen a 9 be like, I'm picky, because she doesn't have to pick.
Usually the 9 is like, oh yeah, they're just like happy in a relationship. Usually a 9 isn't thinking about.
A guy literally shows up at her door with like a Lamborghini and she's like, all right, this will do.
I wonder if a 9 has ever even thought about like if they were happy. Or like has a 9 ever been like, what's my purpose in life? I think a 9 is eventually on their deathbed like, oh shit, that rocked. And it's like holy shit. They're like, oh shit, like I'm dying. Like that's crazy. This has been awesome.
Damn, what a ride.
Yeah, okay.
The light flashes before their eyes.
Yeah,
like, oh, hell yeah.
That was cool.
Oh, shit, I forgot about Ibiza when that guy with that huge cock paid for my flight there and then had sex with me and didn't come fast.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
I actually think if you're a 9, life is hell because no one ever actually, well, it's not hell, it's actually amazing, but no one will ever, if you're that beautiful, no one will ever actually listen to what you think. No one actually cares what you say. All they want to do is put it in the old box there. You simply serve no purpose in life but to please others.
Is that so? A 9's only purpose?
Well, that's what it must feel like. You know, I'm sure there's like George Clooney's wife or something. There's like a human rights lawyer, but for the most part, these poor women are just passed around until they get old and
well. So yeah. So no matter what a 9 accomplishes, they are this kind of sex object
Yeah.
until they're 35.
Especially if you're a woman, there's simply no overcoming being like the most. If you're an incredibly beautiful woman, you could literally solve cancer, and they'd be like, God, that chick who solved cancer is such a fucking piece of ass.
Bro, I was watching Johnny Depp's trial. Remember that? Remember Johnny Depp's trial? Like, this woman is like one of the best lawyers on the planet, just like wheeling and dealing, just fully like making the justice system her bitch. And I'm like, that woman, I would fucking smash, dude. I'm like every day and twice on Sunday for the lawyer. Didn't get her name. Didn't care for her background. I didn't really hear one thing she had to say. She was wheeling and dealing, bro.
Dude, that's what, like, with the Olympics, it's like all these women who've worked their whole lives to, like, I don't know, like swim in a pool or something. And I'm going, check out the ass on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Completely ignoring her for her incredible human feats. I'm just like, but the body though, the midriff though.
Yeah, this woman from Brazil, she's been doing gymnastics since she was 4 years old.
I'm at home with my hand on my dick, like, yeah.
Yeah. She's crying. She's made her country proud. You're like, would.
That's what I mean. It's like being a beautiful woman is, I'm sure there's a lot of amazing things, but you know, it only lasts till you're like 35, and then you're a person who was a beautiful woman, and that you don't have any real value. You know, that's actually a big thing I preach on the pod as well, is that you know, I think a lot of men's hatred towards women comes from like it seems like life is so easy for them because they're so beautiful, et cetera, et cetera. But like they have to figure their, like, you know, men are always like, women are so picky and short guys, and it's like, well, women have the right to be choosy because the prime of their life is very early on, and they need to find the right guy. You know, we can just fuck around till we're 50 and 60 and like date some fucking 30-year-old woman or whatever. You
right.
know?
Plan to.
Yeah.
Plan
yeah,
to.
me and you both. Everyone gives Leonardo DiCaprio shit. I'm like, brother, if I got $48 billion in a yacht, you better believe I'm clapping a 23-year-old with all due respect.
I know, dude. It's interesting because it's like, I don't know. Have you been out with younger women in the past couple of years since living here?
Yeah, I have earrings. Yeah.
I've gone out with some like 24, 25-year-olds as like a 32-year-old. And like you can
have a conversation.
The conversation's not usually like it's not killer.
Yeah.
But you're like, this woman's like gorgeous. I'm still in.
Yeah.
It is a different ball. 24, like from 24 to 32 it is like, you know.
Well, the sad thing about men is if you are beautiful, it doesn't really matter if you have anything to say. You know, like we can just, if you're absolutely stunning, we can go on a date with you and just like listen to you like talk about, you know, whatever the TikTok or whatever the fuck these chicks are talking about. You know?
I don't. It doesn't take you out a little. I'll say this, like when I'm
a little, but not a lot.
when I'm dating someone, I guess messing around with someone's one thing, or like keeping it casual.
Yeah,
but man, like when I'm with someone, like there's just something about like, you know, if she really sucks, or if she's not fun, or if she's kind of like basic, super basic, my biggest fear is like, man, like what will my friends say? You know, like what are my friends gonna think about this girl? And sometimes like maybe because I know myself, and like I'm always like with our friend group, I'm always the guy that's like, I'm always kind of like skeptical. I'm always like very hard on my friends' girlfriends. It's something that like I don't know what it stems from or why. I don't have like
that is a very astute observation. You do be like that.
I don't have like man crushes on my friends. I don't want to like keep my friends to myself. But there is this part of me that's just like, why would you let us like meet her? You know what I'm saying?
You're like, she's weak. She can't hang.
I'm like, why would you let me meet this? Like, why would you want to be seen with this person? But
I find that intriguing because when my friends bring around a girl, I'm like, oh, so that's kind of what you're looking for. It's interesting to see what your boys are like. You know, some boys are looking for like a very stern, mean woman. Other guys are looking for like a quiet, mild man. It's nice to see like, oh, that's the side of yourself that the void you're trying to fill, I suppose.
Right, and it's like when your boy like is dating someone, you just want someone you can just kind of walk all over.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh damn, you're sort of a psycho, huh? Like,
yeah,
I definitely have friends with
like oh yeah, you just kind of want to like be dunking on your girlfriend all day, dude. Yeah. Like what is?
And then
wrong
if she's mean, you're like, oh, so like when you guys go home together, you just let her just like
fucking scream at you, just call you a fucking nothing all the time.
I'm like, I can kind of see that. I can kind of see you doing that. You know,
yes.
as a matter of fact.
Yeah. So no, it's I wish I was less harsh on the friends, but yeah, I'm getting better at that. For
Okay,
sure.
now, Drago, one thing I have to ask you about before we get into the listener questions is
Sure.
I have to ask you about anxiety because you're an anxious guy.
Yes.
You're a very anxious fellow, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Tell me where that comes from.
What where it stems from.
Where do you think that started, and why do you think you experienced that?
Everyone in my family is like tight. Is just very tight and like very rigid.
Is that an Eastern Bloc European thing, or what is it?
Yeah, I think it's
You're
like
Serb.
Yeah, so I think it's like it's got to be something like there's an impatience quality. Yeah, I'm just wound very tight. I'm wound very, very tight, and I don't like to it's hard for me to like kind of take a deep breath on stuff.
Do you think that is from childhood expectations placed on you that have kind of manifested in your body over the course of the years?
Like my brother's definitely wound tight. My sisters can be pretty anxious about stuff too. There's got to be some genetic thing for sure. Like,
Right.
yeah, it's just like my whole like everyone in my family is just kind of very. I used to not think it was anxiety. I used to think it was like. I used to just think I was like. And I know now it's anxiety, but I used to just think it was like fucking like I'm just like a impatient. That's what I used to think.
Right.
I used to think I was like I'm just like I'm short and impatient with people.
Right.
Where it really is like it is an anxious quality because I'm not like I used to think of like anxiety as this kind of like nervous energy.
Yeah.
Like I'm nervous I don't have like social anxiety. Like I'm not like I don't walk into a party like, oh, why am I, like I can't be friends. Why am I with these? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like to me, anxiety. I like the anxiety I get is if like my flight is it gets moved like pushed up 2 hours,
Right.
and I can't, and then it's in like 2 months, and I can't, and I get an email for that flight, and I can't get a hold of Delta or something like that in the next hour. Like I will like punch a window. I'll punch my window. Like I'll punch my wall. Like if
You
I
don't like
can't
being in control.
Yeah, it's control.
Right.
That's what it is. I like knowing, I like knowing everything that's going on in my life. I like I'm very hands-on with
Is
my
there like
life.
a moment in your life when you were younger when you lost control of something and it ruined a big thing for you or something?
Where I lost control?
Or like, is that where do you think that manifested from? Like, as a child, were you like grasping for control and you lost it somewhere and it fucked up like your life in some way?
Where
I'm not trying to
did
be a therapist. I'm just like genuinely curious.
I don't know. I like having like that's why planes have been tough for me sometimes, because it's the fear of flying sometimes is the lack of control. It's like this is not
Right.
my thing. So it's like I don't know what it comes from, but I know I just know that there's always been like an impatience and like like some kind of short fuse.
Does that
with me.
manifest in relationships at all? Where you're like, if things start going haywire in a relationship, you just kind of melt down because you want to like maintain kind of like...
Is there anxiety in relationships?
Like, do you feel like when you get in relationships, you get anxious if things aren't going according to plan?
I think my first breakup was really difficult for me because I did not have, because like I wasn't like, I felt like I wasn't in control of it. I feel like my first breakup was very difficult for me to, to figure out, to navigate, because I was like, because like when you have that breakup, you're just like,
There's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing you can do about it.
Well, there's something you can do about it, but might go to jail for it.
Yes, I have a much healthier relationship to women now, like in terms of like the, like what, like in terms of like how to, how much to give, how much to, and how much to relax and let it. Yeah, it's a very, but yeah, on the whole, it's like Well, when you let me ask, like, if you were to describe my anxiety, or our friends were to describe, like, how would you describe it to somebody? I think that's would make, because I'm actually very curious about that.
Well, it's always like medial. It's always like over small things that don't seem to matter at all.
Definitely.
You know, like if we go to like a restaurant and the waiter's like talking to another table for too long or something, and you're
Definitely.
like, and it's
Oh,
like,
wow,
why
yeah.
does this matter at all in the grand scheme of things?
Yes.
You know, but I guess that is its own version of like losing control, and like you're like, I want the fucking drink.
Yes. Yeah. Those things.
You know?
Those things. Yeah. That's a great point. Yeah. I'm like, yeah. When I'm out of control, when I can't control it, it's a very I'm just like, yeah, I'll be short,
What have you done to help with this, or have you done anything at all?
I think something I've done is like, it's understanding when I have ownership of it or not.
Yeah.
So like I went to a Fish concert with Asmus and Joe McMahon and Matt Kennedy, our friends. And like, I had nothing to do with the logistics of it. So like, I just jumped in the car. McMahon was driving. He has no idea how to drive. He's like, he missed like a turn every 10 minutes. And he's an awesome dude, but he just kept missing these turns. I couldn't believe it. And then like, we got this Airbnb that was like 8 miles from the thing in the woods. And we didn't plan on like we didn't have a plan of like, should we get groceries before, should we get beers before, and like bring shit back to the house. So by the time we got back to the house, everything was closed. We couldn't get beer, we couldn't get food.
Oh,
we
I
were
know
starving.
you were going crazy.
So it's like, but in my mind, so these things, I'm like, if I'm planning this trip, none of this happens.
Right.
I'm driving, I get the zip car, I plan the Airbnb. It's gonna be close. I know when we're Ubering, we're gonna have food here, we're gonna have groceries here, But when I told myself like, this is not my thing, this is not my fault, like I didn't do this, I was like, it makes it a lot. Then I go, this is not on me.
Right.
I think sometimes the anxiety can manifest in going, is making it your problem.
Right. Yeah.
And so sometimes you have to go, and that's what's so difficult, I think, is like sometimes in little things like that in life, I'm like, well, I'm taking I'm losing right now.
Right. Yeah. I have a similar problem.
You know what I'm saying? Where I'm like, why am I? It's like I'm taking this out. Where it's something like this Delta flight's not getting rescheduled right now. I'm like, why can't I get this? I'm like losing for some reason, but it's just like, it's on them. I didn't. Like, when they planned this trip improperly, it's got
like
nothing.
letting go and going, okay, well, if it wasn't my fault, I can live with the consequences.
Exactly.
Right.
I didn't fucking plan this terrible trip.
No,
but
yeah.
it was honestly one of the highlights of my summer overall, because of so much shit went haywire, and the show is amazing, and being with those guys was Matt Kennedy's the funniest. Those are the 3 funniest guys we know, pretty much. Yeah, that would be unbelievable. So it was like the best time. But logistically, I was just like, yeah, I can let this go. And also like, when just little things like when a friend like has an idea to go to this bar and like there's like a big line outside the bar. Mid-20s me, early 20s me would have thrown like a fit, and I'm just like, this is where this person wanted to go. This is where I'll put it on the person. I'll be like, this is where this fucking idiot wanted to go. I'm like, this person's a fucking idiot.
Couldn't be me.
I'm not an idiot. This person's stupid.
That's honestly the right approach.
And I think it's like a better way.
It's better than self-hatred.
Well, it's better than being like, it's better than like lashing out and being like, why did you pick this place?
Right,
what are you doing? And just in my head going, they're stupid.
Right.
That's a stupid person. and then they're stupid, you're not, and that's fine.
And you heard it here first, fellas. If you're anxious, just blame everyone around you.
No,
I'm kidding.
No, but it is, yeah. It's like, anxiety is, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do more of that, asking our friends when they're like, oh, Drago being anxious. I'm like, how does it come out?
That's something I aspire to do more of, and I've been having a lot of conversation with the boys recently about this, where, hey, if I got a problem and I'm acting out of pocket, I need to hear it, and I need you to tell me, because I have a similar problem where I will blame everyone around me for my shortcomings because of my insecurities, and then instead of looking in the mirror and going, oh, maybe that was your fault.
Sure.
Yes.
No, it's accountability is huge, folks.
Yeah. But these are things that I like to talk about with the boys, because at the end of the day, we gotta talk about these things as men to kind of get to the bottom of where we are, how we are, and not bury it inside of us and go fucking crazy and then go shoot up a football game or some shit.
I know, man. God, I wish I had social anxiety. That would be fucking awesome. That'd be a great anxiety.
Never have to worry about pussy. Just play video games all day. Yeah, absolutely.
No,
Sign me up. Castrate me, somebody.
I have anxiety on where we got the Airbnb.
Instead of having anxiety about what roof you're going to get on at the next presidential rally. That would be incredible. All right, gang. Another incredible interview portion. We have yet to miss with an interview portion. We've certainly missed with a couple questions, but we've never missed on the interview portion. Another absolute heater. Give me a dab right there, Drago.
That was fucking
excellent.
heat. That was heat.
And if you boys come too fast, there's your fucking answer at the beginning there. God knows I was never going to give you one because I haven't come since about 1998, but I dream of the day when I do again. Let's go ahead and get into some listener questions here. You people are finally starting to not write in, but we've got a few left in the bank, and these are good ones, gang. And you better believe we're starting with a lady. Our last question from a lady, that we don't have any left in there, so if you are a woman and you're listening, please write in, because I simply can only talk to women. And this woman says, "Hey Tuck, my boyfriend is currently unemployed and he has been for a while. He's really a sweet and wonderful guy and I love him, but recently I can't stop feeling like he is a bit of a loser.
Oh.
I don't mean to be mean or come off as harsh. I understand everyone has tough times. I certainly have. But he hasn't had a job in months, can't really take me out much, and just in general doesn't seem to be motivated to change. I ask him how the job hunt is going, and it's always a variation of excuses or some reason why one interview didn't work out and the other never called him back. He was never a loser, in quotes, before this, and I just don't want it to continue. Do I dump him? I honestly don't want to, but I'm definitely getting close.
Wow.
Thanks. Love the pod, Bree."
Damn, Bree.
Bree.
Unemployed boyfriend. How long has he been unemployed? Do we know?
She says a few months. She doesn't give a number.
Probably we can go.
Let's go
probably
about 5 to 6.
We're really trying to bury this dude. No, the guy's, he's got to get a job, and you got to get a job, and also there are ways to make some money every now and then.
Yeah, I need to know how unemployed this guy is. Is he like, he literally doesn't have a job and does not work and sits at your house all day and plays fucking video games and fucks you from behind and comes in 45 seconds? If so, yeah, dump this fucking guy with all due respect.
Yeah, also, do you know what this makes me wonder? I'm always like, where are these women in my life?
God damn, that's the truth.
I've been dumped for like not making enough money. But like,
this guy's fucking, he's playing fucking Call of Duty all day. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, but it's like, I still had a job. I've got a job, you know? It's like, this guy literally just sitting around.
It seems like she says he's very nice and very sweet. And so I would imagine he doesn't even realize maybe that he's being a burden on you. To be honest, my real advice here, if this guy was watching, I don't know if he listens to the pod or what, if he is legitimately not working after 5 to 6 months, he doesn't have a job problem. He has an inspiration problem. And he needs to find like something he cares about and goes for it. Because if you really have a fucking passion, you can't sit around for 5 or 6 months and do nothing. So
I wonder what he was doing before too. I know, I understand the job market is hard right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely had pockets of unemployment since I've been here. And I've probably been this boyfriend at some point in my life. But I've always been working in some shape or form.
Also, he should be, I want to be clear about this, I think he should be stressed.
Yeah.
If he's like unemployed and like kind of very laissez-faire about it and just kind of like, oh yeah, like, yeah, I might get a job soon. It's like, that's not you want the guy that's like, I can't handle how much of a loser I feel like.
Yeah.
Like he should be really fucked. If he's down in the dumps, like, I'm sending 20 fucking apps every day. I'm fucking
Yeah.
applying to all these places. I'm calling all these places. I asked my fucking dad for a job. Like, and he's just like, and he's like really putting everything into it and he can't get a job. That's one thing.
Yeah.
But if this guy is like kind of letting you buy Uber Eats and hanging out at your place,
He's got
I can't even imagine this. First off, this woman, Bree, is like an angel.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
No, I was going to say more power to you. One thing I loved about this email is she said, do I dump him? I honestly don't want to, but I'm definitely getting close. The fact that you said I honestly don't want to, like, I think most women would have already been out by now. And you're still kind of clinging on to the fact that he might be a good guy. You seem like an incredibly sweet woman. And to be honest, if you don't want to, don't do it because you might regret it. But if exactly what he said, if he's showing no signs of motivation, this shit ain't going to change until you scare him into doing something, when that means leaving him behind, respectfully.
I think if it's been 6 months.
Yeah, I wish we knew the timeline.
But yeah, it's how long have they been together for? Do we know?
She doesn't say.
Probably a while if she's been been with him unemployed.
Yeah, I mean,
for a few months.
And he's a really sweet guy. You know, it seems like you really, to be honest, it seems like you really love this guy and you don't want to fucking do it. But I just can't imagine you're not at your breaking point unless he's gotten you there. With all due respect, you know, I ride for the boys, but we will drag a woman through the mud if we can. I was
kind of projecting by saying I've been left because I didn't make enough money. She might have left because I just because of other reasons with me.
Oh yeah. I mean.
But have you ever? Yeah, we just maybe not got along. Maybe I have other.
I have a similar problem. I will blame women for everything in a relationship.
But have you ever done this? Have you ever been in like your boy's like really nice fucking 1-bedroom apartment that's like overlooking the city and been like, I wonder if she would have left me if I lived here.
Oh boy, have I think that when I'm fucking when I'm literally just like in the public library. I
remember being in my boy Marin's and I was like, if I had this place instead of living at Sealy with those guys, I'm like, I wonder how she would have framed me in her life, you know? But I truly that's on her though. Not on me.
But I don't blame, again, and Bria, we said this at the beginning, I don't blame you for feeling this way because as a woman, you have a limited time to find the guy you're looking for. And I understand. I think as men, when like if our girl's unemployed, we're like, I don't give a fuck, throw me some pussy, do whatever you want. But women are like, I need to find a man while I'm hot and young. And so I understand the pressure of like, is this guy a loser? Because I got to get rid of him. I understand any woman who's ever broken up with me because I was a loser, because why the fuck would you be with a guy if you're hot? Because you know they were baddies, folks, because I'd be pulling.
It all depends on the timeline. If I was in your situation, I would be handling this much worse and probably would have left that person. There's nothing less attractive to me than a lack of motivation.
Same.
A woman, I don't know what this is. If a woman just is kind of like doesn't know what they're doing in their life, if your partner doesn't have direction, it's the most turn off.
That is so true. I literally cannot date someone that is just sitting around.
Again, if he's like, this is the job I want and it's really hard to get into, but I'm gonna fucking do everything I can to get into this field and it just takes a little longer, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if he can't like, also, if it's getting to the point where you're fucking paying for everything, man, that fucking sucks, dude.
But Bree, you sound like a queen, and we are pulling for you. Know that.
Yeah.
And you know, I also am not quick to shit on this guy because I think he's right. I think he could be just having a tough time. I was in a tough time literally a few weeks ago, and it happens to everybody. So, you know, continue to have patience. But if he's a loser, and you do got to get rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
Pulling for you though. You seem awesome. We got two more here. This is a great one. I've actually been hanging on this one for weeks. This guy says, Tucker, recently my girlfriend casually sort of dropped a bomb on me that she has been in a few orgies. Background, it's a pretty new relationship, like 3 months or so. We're still getting to know one another, but it did kind of take me by surprise. IDK, I'm not like a big sex guy like you, and I'm not at all bothered by her being a hoe, in quotations or whatever, but it does kind of make me second guess if we're compatible. I'm not really interested in anything like that, and I don't think I would be down the road. You think this is a deal breaker, or am I being a huge pussy? I'd like to go first here, my guy. Have an orgy. What the fuck are you talking about? This chick wants to have an, I don't know if she wants to, but come outside of your shell there a little, brother. What?
And I disagree with Tucker. If I was dating someone and she's like, I've been in like 5 orgies, I'd be like, well, we ain't gonna last.
Really?
We're not gonna last. It just says something about you to
Really?
me. Definitely.
No way. You
Definitely.
don't want to have like group sex with your chick?
No, I think it's I don't think it's like a character thing, but it's just not my I'm a little more old school
Right,
than I like to lead on than I can, but it's like, I'm just I'm a suburb dad in a comedian life.
Right.
I'm a little bit more traditional than Tuck. I think I don't want my girl to be hanging out with all these radicals, as my dad would say. you're going over hanging out with all these baristas, and you're doing these fucking hanging out with these radicals, staying up, smoking pot, having orgies.
Interesting. I have the complete opposite. I'm sitting here going, buddy, you're sitting on the golden ticket. Go out there and fucking let your girl get run through by a big old fella while you have a nice little time with a couple of twinks yourself,
If she's had orgies, I think that's fine. Like in terms of like, maybe if you really, really like her, it's probably gonna be fine. But you can't bend in a way that you don't want to bend.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, if it gets to
a
point where she's like, I want to do this 4-way, I want to do this 3-way,
Yeah.
I think I'd be shocked if you don't want the not the devil's. I'd be shocked if you don't want a 3-way. A 3-way would probably be pretty fun.
I can't imagine she's like, yeah, I don't ever want to do that again. If she's been in more than one, she's probably looking to try and do that with you. That is true. Don't feel like you got to step up.
Dude, this is a part of my how I think I've matured as a human being. Healthy boundary, and it's not and you're not going to be controlling by just going, you can do that, I don't do that. And if it gets to that point, it's kind of a good look if, again, you don't have to bring it up right now, but if down the line she's like, hey, like I have some friends, this one guy, these 2 girls, like I kind of want to like let's have a night with them. And if you go, this is a deal breaker for me, I think that's totally fine.
I do too, to be honest.
I think that's totally fine.
If you, also think about 2 chicks sucking you off at the same time, brother. I mean, even if you're not comfortable with it, I mean, give it a go.
How about this? My boy was doing this, man. I think this is like right in the realm of like deal breakers for couples. My buddy was he had been in a relationship for a few years. He's been probably 4 or 5 years with this girl. And they're married now. At the time, they probably knew they were on the track to get married, so they're in it to win it. But she loved to have morning sex. This girl, his girlfriend, she loved morning sex, and my buddy was not a morning sex guy.
Me either.
So he was doing it out of to please her because she wanted some sex before work or whatever. Do you know what he starts doing? He starts listening to Le Batard in the morning, like on his headphones. He puts her doggy style, throws his AirPods in, starts listening to Dan Le Batard. He's doing this for like weeks.
She has no idea.
At one point, they're fucking. AirPod drops out. She goes. She feels it on her leg. She goes, "What the fuck was that?" My boy's AirPod. And there's Le Batard is like on the bed going like fucking, and the Marlins are down 3 games.
See, that's when you just had too much sex with the person. You just gotta move on.
Do you think that's a deal breaker?
If I was the woman, I would not be happy. But also, I mean, I don't know. I've never even made.
If your girl was throwing in AirPods while you're clapping,
yeah, that would actually bother. That would drive me crazy. She's listening to the Barbie soundtrack while I'm trying to fucking please my queen. Absolutely.
Have you ever had a girl? Have you ever wanted to before bed or maybe in the morning? And have you had your girl be like, fine, but make it quick? Have you ever had that?
That fucking pisses me off.
Though that one hurts.
It's just like, bro, then I know I don't want to fucking do it.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, make it quick. That's when you know it's over.
I don't have morning sex. I'm disgusted by morning sex. Your breath stinks. My breath stinks. We both tired and it just feels weird to walk throughout the day with pussy on.
I got no
pussy.
answers on how to last during morning sex. Morning sex, I'm like a minute guy. Like I'm just, I love it too much probably. Where I'm just
Really?
like, I'm just fucking, yeah,
Damn.
love
I don't
it.
even have it. I tell these women, I'm like, I'd really like not.
I
to.
wonder if women are okay with like coming quick in the morning, or if they want to be clapped out. I don't know.
Ladies, write in and let us know.
Is it okay if he doesn't last as long in the morning?
I feel like
wonder if
that's
it's
the time to bust.
Yeah.
Because we got shit to do. The day's getting.
Yeah, I wonder if she's like. I wonder if it's like an affirmation thing. Like my guy just really is into me.
Yeah.
Something like that. I hope so. That's the narrative I tell myself.
Ladies, write in, and buddy, I get it. But just again, think about two chicks sucking you off. How nice would that be? But again, I was probably as a child, and that's why I have all these sexual perversions. So we might be different, and
yeah,
hopefully, you're doing better than I am.
Maybe that's why I'm anxious.
Yeah,
I was just pinned down and by an uncle. That's why I'm so controlling.
Yeah, you're like, I like when I can have control of the situation.
Yeah, that's why I like to book flights early because my uncle's fucking plowed me.
That's why I'm a Delta Lounge member.
That's why I'm Comfort Plus. Because I'm afraid my uncle's back there in economy waiting for me. That's why I like control.
That's what I was hinting at the whole time. I was like, and tell me about your childhood. How was Thanksgiving when the family came in? Okay, Drago, final question, and it is the question we ask every week because it is the most popular question asked from both men and women on the pod, and I continue to ask every guest this so we can fucking get to the bottom of it. And the question is, how do you approach a woman in public? Have you done that? When's the last time you did that? It's been a long time for me.
I've done this move that I think works.
Like, and I'm not talking bars either. I don't want to hear bars.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we've all done the bar move. I'm talking like
What's your bar move?
I just go, hey, I'm Tucker. What's your name?
Oh.
We don't need the games, babe. I'm here to play ball.
Hey, I'm Tucker. What's your name?
What's your name?
That works pretty good.
Elisa. And going, Elisa, I love your dress.
Yeah.
Some shit like that.
Okay, that's a good move. Okay, so approaching the woman.
Give me the bar move then.
My bar move. My bar move is if I see a woman I am into, I try to wait for her to go to the bar, up to the bar, stand next to her at the bar. Honestly, this has worked. I know it sounds kind of lame. I've just turned to her and been like, "So what'd you get?" And it's
fire.
It's kind of.
No, it's fire.
And if she's like, Paloma, you're just like, it's the door's open this much. Yeah. For you to go, oh, good. I didn't really know.
How is the Paloma?
How is it? Oh, really? If you had it before, do you like it? What'd you get is like.
That is gasoline.
What'd you get? Yeah, it's so subtle. And if she goes Paloma and just like.
Looks away.
Stonewalls you, nothing. What you get is like a great. It works at the bar.
See, if I'm you, sure. I'm going up to that bar and I'm looking them right in their eyes and I'm going 6'7".
Tucker does. See. This thing is like Tucker does like to. He talks to me like I've never been with a woman. He's like, Drago, how is you? And I'm like, Tuck, it happens, dude. Trust me.
My dream is to be a big tall guy because I would deliver the goods like no man has ever seen. I would be dominating this country and this planet if I was 5 inches taller.
It's a fun life. It's a good life. But do you know what I've been thinking about doing? I was just talking with my roommate Dan Carney about this. What do you think about this line? Because I don't know. I don't think I've talked to a woman in public in a long time. I honestly can't even remember. I think one time I said to someone on the maybe on the train once, but that might have been in Chicago.
I ask about the train a lot.
What do you think about this line? You're walking by a woman on the street, maybe, or maybe you're parallel walking to her. Maybe you're walking. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like maybe she's coming towards you, or something like that. What do you think about? Hey, sorry to bother you. Promise you, I'm not like weird or anything. But do you have a boyfriend?
That's pretty good. That's my Hinge line, or like not my Hinge line, like my DM line. If I'm hitting up someone about a friend, I'm like, does so and so have a boyfriend?
Oh yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it's a little bit like
That's actually
hey, like
wait,
don't want
that's
to.
actually
Hey, I just
fire.
don't want to bother you, but real quick, do you have a boyfriend? And if she's like, no, it's like, well, would you want to go out sometime?
Wait,
I
that's
think,
fire.
I think, I
actually
think, I
love
think.
that.
Do you have a boy? I think like, hey, sorry to bother you. Do you have a boyfriend? I think it's like a very,
It's polite.
I think it's disarming, and I think it's like it's also not I don't know if it's charming, but I think it's like affirming.
Yeah.
It's like saying it makes her
It's not creepy.
because I've been asked if I have a girlfriend,
Yeah.
and I felt like a little hot bitch. I was like, no, but I was like, no, but you're. If a girl says like, "Do you have a girlfriend?" It's like they're complimenting you like you should. You
Yeah.
should have a girlfriend.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I want to talk to you. So it's like
Interesting. I don't get that. a
I
lot.
think I've gotten that. It doesn't happen all the time, obviously, but like I've gotten the "Do you have a girlfriend?" and it makes you feel like you're the fucking prom queen or whatever, you know. So
Well, I'm actually going to use that. That's fire.
hey, sorry to bother you. Do you have a boyfriend?
Yeah, that's absolutely fire.
I've been thinking about it. I've been stewing on it. I think that's the line.
Yeah.
I think that's the line I'm going to start
And if they
using.
say yeah, they're either lying to you because they're not interested, or they're lying to you because they're afraid, and they can
Yeah,
get
I
off
go no.
scot-free.
And if they say no, you go, well, I don't want. I was because you're walking,
Yeah.
so you're going. Well, I don't want to like take up too much of your time, but like, can I get your number? Can I ask? I want to, if you want to get a drink sometime, or yeah, if they say no, I think the logical line is, well, like she's going somewhere, you're going somewhere.
Yeah.
I've been like, well, can I get your number? I want to take you out sometime, or I want to, if you want to get a drink sometime. I'm trying to think of like the way to close it, but yeah, would you want to get a drink sometime? You know, something like that.
Wow, that is absolute fire. Boys, take that one home with you. I think I'm going to use that later. I am. I have not asked a woman out in public, and I've really been feeling inspired too.
Because some women are just you pass them, and you're like, God,
I'll walk for 5 minutes and dream about our future together, and I'll never see this woman ever again. I'll think about.
and it's
what
such
we
an
could've
easy
been.
out too. If you're like, hey, sorry, like, hey, sorry to bother you. Do you have a boyfriend? And she's like, yeah. You're like,
Yeah, it lets
You're
her off without any guilt.
and you're just like, and you can make a joke of it. You're like, obviously, of course,
Yeah.
good, lucky guy. See you later.
You know what I would say? I'd go, is he 6'7" though? Sorry.
But can I beat the shit out of him? But can he beat me up? But yeah, I think, hey, sorry to bother you. Do you have
I
a
think
boyfriend?
those are two
Try
great lines. Would you get? What was
Would you, at the bars? What'd you get?
Would you get? And do you have a boyfriend? That's
What'd
the
you get?
thing. It's really just not that complicated. It's more overcoming the fear of beauty when you see it face to face, because sometimes it does shock you to your absolute
A
core.
very if for the weird little guys out there, it's coming from a tall man. I think this is the most important piece of advice.
That was my next question.
For
What
women.
is your most important life advice for anything?
Piece of advice, at least for women, for dating, and when you're trying to talk to a woman, is even if you don't believe it, you got to convince yourself that you can take her, leave her. If she thinks that you need this one,
spitting.
it's out. But if there's this kind of like, this guy doesn't really care, but he's talking to me, because that's when I've done my best.
Same.
That's when I've done my best work, is when I'm
Same.
is when I'm like, I'm already kind of hanging out with a girl, but I meet someone new and I'm like, oh, well, this is kind of like house money at this point. Like I'm just go up to her and be like, if there's the Lucas Zelnick put it to me this way about like everything in life that you want. If you don't ask for it, or if you don't try to get it, if you do ask for it or try to get it and it doesn't work, the worst thing that happens is that you're in the same place you are now.
Yeah.
So why not?
Shout out Lucas. That's absolutely
Lucas
fire.
is like we were just talking about comedy and shit like that, and like asking bookers this or asking to open for people that or whatever, like
Yeah.
anything you want. He's like, the worst thing is that you're literally in the same place you are right now.
Oh my God, that's absolute fire.
Ask the girl out, ask your manager for the promotion, apply to other jobs, get to the gym, be a fucking cool guy.
Unbelievable. What an absolute heater of an episode. Drago bringing nothing but absolute facts, knowledge, and information. That was incredible. Real tips for the boys. Not no bullshit. Take that out in the real world and fucking use it, fellas. That slapped. Give these people, this will be out in 1 to 2 weeks. I don't know when yet, but give these people your dates, your socials, your websites, etc., etc. right here. Drago's absolutely fucking hilarious. An amazing interview. We've never missed with an episode, and we never fucking will, folks. Incredible.
You can find me at Alex Drags on Instagram. September 1st, I'm headlining the lab at Zany's Nashville. September 5 through 7th, I'll be in Fort Collins with Jeff Asmus. September 19th, I'll be in Charleston with Lucas Zelnick. September 2021, I'll be at Dead Crow Comedy with Lucas Zelnick. September 27th, I'll be at Counterweight Brewing in Cheshire, Connecticut. Philly, September 28th, Caked Up Comedy. Go to Caked Up Comedy for that. And I'll just leave it at that.
We'll give the website. Where can they get the tickets to all this?
On my link tree on Instagram.
And hit the link tree on his IG. No one has a website anymore. The internet is dying.
Jeff keeps telling me to get a website. I'm like, I don't think it fucking. But I should get a website.
Almost no one has a website anymore. No one on this show, at least. But hey, if Jeff has it, maybe it's not a bad idea. I take back everything I just said. He knows what he's doing. Anyways, everybody, that's been the episode. Y'all know the drill. Thanks so much for tuning in. Shout out to all the theys, thems, queers, gays, blacks, Arabs, Jews, everyone but the Zionists. Thanks so much, and see you all next week.